Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle of the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5.
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal team. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to our YouTube channel. And if you're watching us from our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, you can also tweet us at Sports Zone Shy, that's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. Well, I made it nice and easy for you folks, but thank you to some hackers, they screwed it all up for me. So on Facebook, just look up the Shawn Sierra or Shawn Sierra, and it has a couple numbers after it. On Twitter or X, I am now Shawn Sierra 33. Okay, but Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, that's one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Listen, I got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So leave a question or comment on that, whatever platform you're watching us. Leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best Chicago morning sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check the chat because we are jumping a little bit. I like it. I like it a lot. No way, my man Armando Emeterio. A lot of juniors in the house. Junior, what up? Bro, let me know what's going on. Reach out to me. Let me know what day dinner is. I'll be there. It's the South Side himself. Michelle Walls in the house. What up on a hump day? And Bulls finally clean house in the front office. Finally. Yes, sirree, Bob. My man Shorty is in the house. Shorty says, Shawn, Armando, Mashawn, what's up, buddy? How are you? You still training 2 people? Have me muted? Anyway, listen. I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. That I can promise you. Listen, we got a great show, man. At 10 o'clock at the top of the hour, my man Gavriel Wilkins from the New 24 podcast is going to join us. We're going to talk about the Bulls cleaning house in the front office. Big, but what they did is so bullish. So Chicago Bulls. Sorry, I had to do that. But what they did was so Chicago bullish, and that's exactly what it is, some ish. We're going to talk about that as well. We got baseball to talk. Obviously, basketball to talk. The Bulls were playing inspired basketball by the firing of their front office yesterday. We have hockey to talk. And then we're going to finish up with I got a couple rounds in. I got 3 rounds in. I did another mock draft on PFF. So anything more than 3 rounds, the first 3 rounds are free. If you want to go 4, 5, 6, or 7, you have to subscribe. I was like, I'm not subscribing. You crazy as a mug. Yes, you can. Shorty, am I still allowed to be pissed off about no comp picks for Ian Cunningham? Yes, but it's pointless. Yes, you're free. You're more than welcome to be pissed off about the lack of compensatory picks for Ian Cunningham. But at this point, it's a moot point, and that ship has sailed. So be pissed off on all you want, buddy. All you want. Nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. But I am. So we're going to go over the first 3 rounds of the mock draft that I did. Make sure it's still in here. Better be. Yep, it is. It is. Okay. Yeah, it is. All right, cool. And then I want to talk a little bit about the Gino Auriemma, Dawn Staley to do. Oh man, Rick Gonzalez checking in. What's up, Baba? He's like, hola, amigo, FGB, Rick. F the NFL. F Roger Goodell. Hey, I hear you. Yeah, we are not happy. Those 3rd round picks could be huge. Huge. But this whole situation with Gino and Dawn is really, really annoying. And it's actually bothersome to me now. Now it's bothering me. I just look. The whole thing's bothering me because that was a punk move, bro. That was a punk move that you did. Okay? A punk move. And you knew it was a punk move. You did that deliberately. And I'm like, why would you? Is this your way of staying relevant? I mean, you're one of the greatest men or women college basketball coaches in the history of the game. So why are you acting like an ass? Why are you doing shit that you wouldn't allow your players to do? That's the fun thing. That's the funny part about it. The things you're doing are the things you would hold your players accountable for. You would come down on your players for. Like the first apology. Like your apology, you apologize to the University of South Carolina. You apologize to the staff. And neither of those two entities are people you went up to face to face. You went right up to Dawn Staley's face and had your little bitch fit. So why not mention her in your apology? You know, so the university, because they got so much blowback, said, bro, you got to go back out there and you got to apologize to Dawn specifically. So, in a statement from the university, his second statement in 4 days, Ariema's statement reads, this morning, Dawn Staley and I spoke about our interaction after the game last Friday. I apologize to Dawn, her staff, and her team. I've lost more games in the Final Four than any coach in history. But Friday, I lost something more important. I lost myself. So there's a little shade. He's still. So just by that alone, it's always got to be about you. There's no reason you have to put that. There's no reason for that word. I've lost more games in the Final Four than any coach in history. Always making it about you. Those who know me know that I have nothing but respect and admiration for the game and the coaches who coach it. Dawn and her team deserve to win, and they deserve better from me. Women basketball deserve better. My university, my athletes, my former players, and our fans deserve better. Dawn and I have agreed to move on, and we hope the focus will shift back to the growth in women's basketball. The game deserves it. So, according to the ESPN article by Alexa Philippou, pardon me. She says the comments echoed the sentiment Staley included in a statement earlier Tuesday, saying that she has, quote unquote, a great deal of respect, unquote, for Ariema, and that one moment doesn't define a career and it doesn't change the impact he's had on growing women's basketball. Staley asked for everyone to turn the page on Friday's incident and focus on continuing to elevate the game. Ariema, the sport's winningest coach and 12-time national champion, previously released a statement in which he apologized to South Carolina but didn't mention Staley by name. Yeah. So now you got to go back and you had to go back a second time and apologize? Like, come on, bro. You knew who you had to apologize to. You're just being a jagbag. End of story. So finally we can move on. It's over. My man King Booker World's checking in. What's up, Papa? I'm okay. Here's the thing. Women's basketball needs. I highly doubt there'll be another Caitlin Clark. Okay, I highly doubt it. What she did at the college basketball level was amazing. maybe this feud between Gino and Dawn is a good thing. And you're asked, well, how is this a good thing? Because you got a villain now. Now you got a villain, Gino Auriemma. And trust me, they will face South Carolina again. Possibly next year. If they're not playing each other in the regular season, they will most likely meet in the tournament. Late in the tournament, but in the tournament. But now you have two teams, two coaches, two programs that don't like each other. So you're going to watch to see if something pops off. And then the players get into it because the players back their coach. So you're going to have players. So I don't know if you saw the interview with Candace Parker. I think it was on the Pivot with Fred Taylor. No, I can't think of his name. I'm looking. Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, Ryan Clark, and my light-skinned brother. Chad. Is it Chad Hennings? Anyway, they had mentioned they posed the statement like, you know, Pat Summitt, the late Pat Summitt, and Gino did not get along. And Candace Parker said, yeah, that's why I don't, and that's why I don't either. And I thought that was awesome. She doesn't rock with Gino Auriemma because her head coach, her former head coach at the University of Tennessee, didn't rock with him either. And I like the stick by your coach type thing. It's very petty, but it's a great storyline. And it brings eyes to the product. It brings eyes to that product. Just like we had Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark every time they played, you realize every time they played, they moved it from their regular arena to Chicago Stadium or the United Center, excuse me. Or when they went down there, they played where the Pacers play. So that battle, that heated rivalry could be great. So now UConn needs a good player, and South Carolina needs a good player, and they each needs to rock with their coach. Because what will happen is that will get the eyes back on women's college basketball. I mean, they're still there from the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese days and things like that. But it's starting to die down. There's no more. There's no more hatred. There's no more true rivalries. There's no more true dislike or contempt. Between players. And as fans, that's a storyline. As fans, that's what we want. Oh, I want to see such and such play such and such. So I'm okay with that. I just want to see the players get behind it. Not start fighting. No. Maybe get a little physical. You know, they both have a jump ball. The other one lets the ball go and throws the other girl down for a jump ball, held ball. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Just to get a lot of eyes back on the subject. The Crooked Commish is back in the house, baby. What's up? The Shawn, top of the morning. You as happy as me and the boys for the clubhouse about AKB showing the door? I will get to that this morning. I don't know if I said it. Black Diamond, good morning. Papa says coming out and saying the next GM has to be sold on Billy just shows how incompetent they are. We're going to talk about that too. That was so Bulls. That was such a Chicago Bulls, Jerry Reinsdorf, in this case, Michael Reinsdorf, move. Wasn't even funny. Wasn't even funny. Michael, the son's in charge of the Bulls. The son's in charge. He also said he's going to be more hands-on. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. But I guess we're going to have to find out. Listen, let's take a quick break. Let me get the warden off the CrossFit, and we will get to our top of the morning topics because we have a lot to get to. So keep it locked right here, folks. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Operator 901, where's the emergency?
127 Brymere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency
Do you
line.
know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Okay, is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe. But some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're so
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. My guy Steve is out. He was a little under the weather, so he'll be out this week. He'll be back on Monday, I believe. So give me your thoughts and prayers. It'd be appreciated. Heading out to my guy Steve-O. So Got to roll without him today and Friday, and he should be back good to go on Monday. But let's get a crack-a-lackin', baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
First, top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Here we go. The White Sox, baby. My good guys on the South Side are having a rough time. The White Sox lose to the Baltimore Orioles 4-2, lose the first two games of that series. Shane Smith got the start, no decision. He went 3 2/3, 1 hit, 5 free passes, 8 punch outs. Chase Mydraw 2 for 4, with a double, his third of the campaign, driving in his second RBI of the season. Lenyn Sosa, he was 1 for 4. He drove in his third RBI of the season. Staying with the White Sox, the next top of the morning topic, the White Sox look to salvage one game in this series. First pitch today is at 1:10 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 a.m. The probables for today's game for Baltimore, Kyle Bradish, he's 0-2 with a 6.23 ERA going up against Sean Burke, who's on a bump for the good guys from the South Side. He's 0-1 with a 3.60 ERA. Next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. Cubs beat the Tampa Rays yesterday 9-2. Javier Assad, he got the win. He's 1-0 on the season with 5 2/3, 1 hit, 2 free passes, 3 punch outs. PCA, 3 for 5. Finally. Breaking the drought. Hit his first home run of the season. Yesterday, he drove in his 4th RBI of the season. Sevi Ballesteros. No, it's not Sevi Ballesteros. Sevi Ballesteros was the golfer. That is classic. That is classic. Oh, man. This goes to show you how old I am. The fact that I know Sevi Ballesteros. Oh, that's awesome. That is crazy. I wonder if any of you, is it me? It's Moises. I went to Sebi. He was 2-4 with a homer. His first of the season. He had 3 ribbies yesterday. His 3rd, 4th, and 5th ribbies of the season. Nico Horner was 2 for 4, driving in his 6th and 7th runs of the year. Staying with the Cubs play the rubber match today in Tampa. First pitch is at 5:40 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 104.3 FM or 670 AM. The score. The probables for tonight's game for the Cubs. Kyle Ray is on the bump. He's 0-0 with a 4.26 ERA going up against for Tampa Bay. Joe Boyle's going to be on the bump for the Rays. He's 0-0 with a 3.18 ERA. Let's see what we got over here. Wonderful. The next top of the morning topic, the Bulls. Only the Bulls. Only the Bulls. Only the Bulls will do just some dumb shit. So the Bulls are in tank mode. So what do? You beat another team in tank mode. I want to thank the Washington Wizards for not showing up yesterday. And the ones who did show up treated it as if it was a scrimmage. The Bulls beat the Washington Wizards 129-98. Didn't even get up 100 points. Holy cow. Holy cow. That is just embarrassing. All levels of embarrassing. And listen, the Bulls are supposed to be losing. supposed to be losing. The Bulls were led by Rob Dillingham. He had 26.7 rebounds. Patrick Williams. Hold on, player. Let me just tell you. Patrick Williams had a game yesterday, son. 20.7 rebounds, 6 assists. Couple of steals. I think he stole the ball like 2 or 3 possessions in a row. Patrick Williams. That was so funny. It's so ironic that Patrick Williams, the first game after Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley get fired, has a great game. He's the face. He was AK's first player acquisition. His first player acquisition. And he sucked this whole time. He still sucks now. But he had a game. I think it was a career high, if I'm not mistaken, for Patrick Williams. I think it was a career high. Let me double check. But, man. It's really... No, Rob Dillingham's was the career high at 26. Let's say with the Bulls, because the Bulls next, they face the Wizards again tomorrow. Still in DC. What is it back? I mean, that's crazy. It's like the second or third time in my life I've ever heard of a team playing twice, playing the same team consecutive or 2 games in a row in the same facility. I haven't heard it very often. But the Bulls face the Wizards again tomorrow night. Tip-off is at 6 p.m. Central. You can catch that game at Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station 104.3 FM or ESPN 1000. I'm sorry. That's 104.3 FM or 670 AM The Score. Junior says Mexico football starts this weekend. Nice. King Booker says P won't set the whole standard of what this team has been. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. But King Booker said get rid of Io, but kept this bum ass dude. It's not about they kept him. It's like no one wanted that contract. No one. That goes to show you how bad that signing of Patrick Williams was, that extension. You couldn't get rid of that contract to save your life. People looked at you like, what? You signed who to what? How much? Nope. Don't want that. King Book of World says they drafted him 4th overall, and he was a damn bench player. Like, come on now, man. We should have drafted his teammate Scotty Barnes. I would have taken Scotty Barnes for sure. 90 million for Dickie Simpkins of the 2020s. Of the 2020s. Can you imagine Dickie Simpkins getting a contract like that? That's crazy. But he had a game yesterday. If yesterday was the first time you ever watched the Bulls, you'd have thought Patrick Williams was good. 20-7, nice day at the office. Stacy was a fool. He's like, this might be the Patrick Williams coming out party. Rick said, where's the Ozempic kid at? Noah. Senge Noah, he won't be back till next year. Forgot what injury he has. He's so damn skinny. He'll be back next year. He'll be back for the summer league. Dude, that's hilarious. King Book of World. He won't. 343 games played. One to talk about. You ain't lying. I wish I could say you were lying, bro. That's crazy. Next top of the morning topic, the Blackhawks, baby. The Blackhawks the other day lost to the San Jose Sharks 4-2. Spencer Knight stopped 20 of 23 shots. Ryan Donato lit the lamp for the 15th time. Frankie Nazar lit it for the 15th time as well on the season. Frankie Nazar also had added his 26th assist. Connor Bedard, his 42nd helper of the year. Teuvo Teravainen, his 21st. And the newcomer, Frondell, helped for the 5th time this season. Staying with the Blackhawks. Blackhawks host the Carolina Hurricanes tomorrow at the United Center. Puck drop is at 7:30 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sportsnet Plus or listen to it on their flagship station, 7:20 a.m. King Booker, what you're a fool. The next top of the morning topic, all hail to the victors. University of Michigan defeats UConn 69-63 to win the men's NCAA basketball championship. And man, I tell you, it was well deserved. Well deserved. All right, they beat a really good UConn team. They held it together. First Big Ten title in 24 years, 25 years, something like that. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. It's been 25 years since the Big Ten won anything. If you're a true conference fan, you'll be sad. But if you're just like an Illinois fan or something like that, you should be happy that the Big Ten won the national championship. So now a Big Ten team won the women's national championship, and a Big Ten team won the men's national championship. So the Big Ten is running things. They are running things. Next top of the morning topic. This is a tough one. Former Bear Steve McMichael was diagnosed with CTE. And for those of you who don't know what CTE is, all right, it's chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Okay. Yeah. Remember, Steve Michael died last year at 67 years old. He had a 5-year bout with ALS. Steve's wife, Missy, donated his brain to science. And that's where they were able to find that out. So that's tough. But let's not forget, after football, Steve went to go wrestle. He wrestled in the NBA. I mean, he wrestled in World Class Championship, NWA. He wrestled and, man, traveled around the world. Him and Flair are really good friends. Junior says, Shawn, you and I have some form of CTE. Yeah, I don't doubt it at all, Junior. Matter of fact, I use that excuse whenever I forget something. Like, hey, I played football. I had a lot of hits to the head. I forget shit. No, I didn't hear you, honey. Remember, I took a lot of hits to the head, so. Oh, man. So we mentioned it was happening live on the air Monday. Arturis Karnisovas and Mark Eversley get fired. Okay. Now, Michael Reinsdorf does a Zoom interview yesterday. Couldn't even have people in the building for whatever reason. Does a Zoom interview. Basically says Billy's going to be our manager for as long as he wants. Michael said, we're going to look at we're getting an outside firm, a third party. Although John Paxson will have input from the building. And he said if the new Billy Donovan's going to be in on the process as well. And he said if the new GM doesn't or wants to move Billy Donovan, then he's probably not the right GM for this job. These are Michael Reinsdorf paraphrase words. You don't want a Hall of Fame head coach, you might not be the right guy for this job. So now you got to bring in – now if Billy wants to stay. Now remember, Billy goes in OKC – and they started trading people away, and he just didn't want to be around for a rebuild. Now, it looks they're in the middle of a rebuild now, so he stayed here. Does he want to leave this place and go to another situation, another team that's rebuilding? I don't think so. But then again, Billy might just be really, really comfortable. There was even talk of Billy going to the front office. Billy is a basketball coach. He's a coach. He loves coaching. He loves teaching, which is the same thing. He loves working with young men and helping them develop, get better. You would lose that going to the front office. So, I don't know. Billy, what are you going to do? You're going to move up into the front office, take the head coaching titles away from you, or you're going to move up in the front office and keep coaching this team? I don't know. So Michael Reinsdorf comes out yesterday and just explains all this to us. We're like, just when we thought, okay, you did the right thing, then you go, well, you got to keep Billy as coach. Now I think you're shortchanging the general manager because the general manager has to work with someone he didn't choose. He didn't choose Billy Donovan. He didn't. It's so bass backwards. But these are our sports teams. These are our Bulls. These are our White Sox. These are our Bears. That's insane. So Billy gets to choose his new GM. Like, are you done, Billy? Are you done? Just want to go upstairs, have another good job, more money? Not that you need it, but your wife will be happy with it. But does Billy want to stay? Does he want to stay for this rebuild? I say yes because we're doing it now. But this happened in the middle of the season. He didn't have an off season to think about it. He didn't have any. I'm sure he had offers to leave, but nothing serious. But now people know, okay, more vultures are coming out, trying to snag him up. Here's a theory brought up by one of the smoke fellas in our group thread. He's ready. Does Billy is he ready to give it up? Is he ready to leave? To go somewhere else? I mean, who does he have here? He's got Josh Giddey. He's got Matas. Is that enough for him to want to stay here? And will we be ready in the Giannis sweepstakes? Because if you watch what's going out there north of the Cheddar Curtain, Giannis wants out. I'm out, which is I'm out. So do we have the ability to, one, to bring Giannis here? Might have to bring his brother. But that'll make us better instantly. Do we have enough money to sign him? That's the question. That is the question. Luckily, with all his expiring contracts that we have in the Bulls this year, you can get some more busters and see if Milwaukee will bite. We have a whole slew of second-round picks we can offer them. Those are just draft capital. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I want Billy to stay. I want him to go. If I want him to GM, I want him. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome our guy, Gavriel Wilkins. He's from the New 24 podcast, and we're going to talk Bulls. Only the Bulls. Only the Bulls. All right? So keep it locked right here, folks. ShawnSierraSports. ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Crazy stuff with the Bulls. A couple games before the season's over, they did what they should have done about 2 years ago, maybe 3. They relieve the duties of president of basketball operations, Arturas Karnisovas, and general manager Mark Eversley. I got a question. Do you ever remember hearing Mark Eversley talk? I heard him talk like maybe 4 times this whole time here. That's weird. So for being a GM, like he definitely wasn't the face of the front office. That was AK. Like, what did you do here? It's like collect checks. And if it sounds like I'm hating, hell yeah, I'm hating. So I can do what he did. Travel around, look at basketball players, have someone else make decisions to get made millions of dollars for 6 years. Yeah, I could do that. We have someone who covers and watches the Bulls a lot more intently than I do, and I watch them pretty intently. I do. He's the host of the new 24 podcast. That's on Twitter. It's at TNTF_. You can find him on Twitter at What Gabe Said, spelled just like it sounds. What Gabe, Gave said, SAID. What Gabe Said. Guys, welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports. Gavriel Wilkins. Gabe, what's up, Baba? How are you?
Feeling good, feeling great, Shawn. How you doing?
Good, man. A little tired. That workout busted my ass this morning, but you know what? I'll live.
I had to get it in myself. I just did a core workout about an hour ago.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, dude, what the hell happened? Aren't they supposed to be losing? They want to win by 30? That was did Washington even show up, or they just have open? Whoever got to the arena first from the public got to play for the Wizards. Is that what happened yesterday?
Well, you know, Shawn, the Wizards have the same aspirations that the Bulls have. The only difference is the Wizards fully committed to the tanking regime as far back as February, and honestly, since the beginning of the season. However, this is the difference, in my opinion, between the Wizards situation and the Bulls. The Wizards, while they were tanking, made plans for their future. They bought low on Trae Young, and then they ended up getting Anthony Davis. And I give a huge credit to Will Dawkins, a general manager who, ironically enough, was an understudy of the general manager that Michael Reinsdorf said in his press conference that he admires a great deal in Sam Presti of Oklahoma City. So I'm very curious to see what plans emerge or news comes about in regards to the Bulls' search for not only a vice president of basketball operations, but a general manager after Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley have been let go after 6 seasons with the franchise, in which they posted a 254 win-loss record, which, in my opinion, is not acceptable. And when you add on top of the fact that they only have 1 playoff win to show for their tenure and 1 playoff appearance, it just doesn't get the job done. And I think we are in a time where not only the fan base, but most importantly, ownership needs to understand that there should be a standard. And that was the title of the episode that me and my man Torrin Stagger, the co-host on the New 24 alongside of me, we talked about this in an episode that just dropped, episode 59, that you can check out right now, available on all platforms.
Why? Why do you think it took so freaking long? Okay. And Michael Reinsdorf said it himself, because, you know, he credited Billy, said even with some of the teams he was given, he still did well. Not to our expectations, but he did well. So that means basically what he's saying is, for the shit teams he got, he did all right. Well, who puts together those shit teams? Acme. Why do you think it took so God blessed long to make this move?
Well, when you accept average standards year after year and you're just satisfied with being a player at the table, this is what you get if you're owner Jerry Reinsdorf and Michael Reinsdorf, who we know is running the operation. I think this is an organization and a franchise that has rested on their laurels for far too long, and they don't even recognize or realize the history that lies inside their building. Like my co-host Torrin Stagger said when we were talking about this yesterday, is you hit me up to come on the show. You pass down Madison Street and you look at the Advocate Center and you see 6 banners atop of that practice facility. You go by gate 4 of the United Center, you see the statue of Michael Jordan. I understand that it's been 28 years since the Bulls have last won an NBA championship, but there used to be a standard. Like I said earlier, there used to be a standard, and there should be a standard. And I think that standard has been lost. And as a result, what you see is exactly what you get. And I don't know how you can rest assured as a Bulls fan when you hear what Michael Reinsdorf said his 27-minute press conference yesterday afternoon.
Dude, if the apple don't fall, that is the quintessential apple don't fall far from the tree, bro. That's the chip off the old block. Same dumb shit his dad would say when his dad spoke, but the same, I said that was so bull. That was such bullshit, pun intended. Dude. Like, do you really go out of your way? Do you have to try to sound this inept and stupid all the time you speak?
I know.
Oh. Give me your thoughts on when he basically said, if you don't keep Billy as a head coach, you're not getting the job. Your thoughts on that?
I have a huge problem with that. And that's why I have to ask Bulls fans in this time that are giddy about the firing of Acme, who do you trust to get it right? You know, we all know that they should have been fired. You could say 3 years ago, hell, in my opinion, I would have did it last season. That way, I would have went into this season with a plan, knowing how loaded this 2026 draft class is, and I'd have said, you know what? It's going to be a long year, fans. But guess what? We got a plan, and we want to try and do the best we can to develop the young talent that we have, but on the real, get a top 5 pick. That should have been the plan. They waited until far too late to get rid of assets that they knew they had no intention of bringing back, and they got very little to show for it. And like I said, what you see is what you get. Now, in response to Michael Reinsdorf's comments in regards to Billy Donovan, What is it that Billy Donovan has over you that makes you think he is indeed the guy? And then you talk about, well, he had deep playoff runs in Oklahoma City. I had to put my thinking cap on when I heard that, watching it live yesterday. And I said to myself, Billy Donovan was in Oklahoma City for, I want to say, 5 or 6 seasons. His first season, he led the Thunder to the Western Conference Finals, which ironically enough was Kevin Durant's final year at Oklahoma City. But they blew a 3-1 lead. After that, even in spite of the Russell Westbrook years in which he had 3 seasons in a row where he averaged a triple-double, the Thunder were one and done every single year. And that includes with Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George. What were the deep playoff runs? And then you're telling me about, well, what he did at the collegiate level when those championships were 20 years ago, and that was at the college level. We're talking about the association, the NBA. And if you're going to tell prospective GMs and candidates live in a press conference with local media that if they don't accept Billy, then they're not the candidate for the job, then I'm asking myself, why in the hell should I take this job? Because outside of living in Chicago, what's the luxury? And then people say, well, at least you have job security. But if I'm a general manager or executive that takes pride in winning, I don't give a damn about job security. I'm here to try and get a job done. And I think Michael Reinsdorf needs to take a step back and let the basketball minds do what the basketball minds do. Because if you got a guy in front of you that has a proven track record and is coming from a winning background and he has a different vision than you, then you need to be willing to say, you know what? Let me step back and let me see your vision through. Because what I've been doing ain't been working for me lately. And I'm tired of being average. That's not the vibe that I get from Michael Reinsdorf when I listen to him speak. I get the vibe of somebody that just wants back in and not trying to kick in the front door.
You know, the unfortunate part is that Acme showed us his card, showed us the organization's cards when he talked about being successful. That place is packed. That place is packed, game in, game out. And they're making a play in? Why the hell? If you're a businessman and you're not putting a quality product out, yet people are still filling your building, buying beers, buying food, buying souvenirs. Why do I need to continue to put more money into the team? That's taking money out the bottom line. Yeah. And that's the thing that people understand, and that's the thing that we as fans don't give a damn about your bottom line. We want to win. If you win, guess what? Your bottom line is going to get bigger because you got more playoff games. You got more people. You can raise the prices for the beers and the drinks and the food during playoff season. We're buying more shit. We're buying jerseys. We're buying hats. We're buying shooting jerseys. We're buying everything. Chicago Bulls, you're making more money.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what it is? They've been afforded the luxury of resting on their laurels. They have still been referred to as the team of the 90s. And the thing that's sad about it, Shawn, is that everybody is chasing what they once did, winning 6 championships in 8 years. Sam Presti has built an impressive fortress for himself out in Oklahoma City with that Thunder roster. And he's going to have to do some reshuffling in the next few years. But you know why I trust Sam Presti? Because of his track record and what he's done over the last 2 decades in that market. However,
they still have not first-round picks he's got.
That too. But however, even in spite of all they've done, winning a world championship a season ago, might I add, and having a chance to go back-to-back, they haven't done what the Bulls did in the 90s. The Los Angeles Lakers were the team of the 2000s era, and they won 5 championships. Bulls won 6. Okay? Then you have guys such as LeBron James, who I love very dearly, but even in spite of his greatness, we know who he was chasing. It was Michael. So even though most of your franchise history of the great days is associated primarily with one player alongside of Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson, you act as though you never had success. And when fans go to these games, they're going for the ambiance and the experience, and to look up at those 6 championship banners and say, man, I remember when it used to be good days in this arena. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm about to be 33 years old. I was 4, soon to be 5 the last time they won. I barely remember that, but I remember just enough of it to know what it felt like. But I'm tired. I'm tired of it. And not only am I tired of it, I'm thinking about the next generation. They don't even have a memory that they connect to outside of the Derrick Rose era, which unfortunately, due to injuries that he sustained, was a short-lived era, albeit a great one. But you only have that one conference finals that he led you to 15 years ago to show for what you have done since the Michael Jordan era has concluded. Just one conference finals in the last 28 years. Meanwhile, the New York Knicks, the team that you bullied on your way to 6 championships in 8 years in the Eastern Conference, they got a solid thing going on right now. The Detroit Pistons had the worst record in the NBA 2 years ago, and now they sit atop the Eastern Conference with the #1 overall seed going into the playoffs. The Indiana Pacers made it back to the NBA Finals a season ago, despite holding the worst record in the league right now. They made it back a season ago and were almost close to winning their first ever NBA championship until Tyrese Halliburton went down, tearing his Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
So all these teams that you had rivalries with are in much better positions than you. And what do you have to show for it? Because I'm not going to lie. If I was in the front office or if I had Michael Reinsdorf's ear and I was his best friend, I'd be saying to him right now, man, what are you doing? And do you really want to be great? Like Derrick Rose said at his retirement ceremony, do you really want to be great? Because you don't strike me as somebody that does.
And that's the problem, is because they look at it as a business strictly. The bottom line. I don't know how you can do that, and how you can not want to win. I get it. I understand. From a business perspective, yes, you are winning. You're getting that thing. You know, we're a basketball town. I know it's always a Bears town, but man, everybody and their mama loves basketball. North side, south side, west side, and there's only 20,000 seats in that mug. All right, it ain't 60 like the Soldier Field. It's only 20,000. And when the Bulls are going good, all the rich people get the prices go up. Everyone goes. And when the things are bad, the prices go down. Now other people go. So they take turns. So they have exactly the right formula. But don't you want to win? You know what I mean? Like, don't, as an owner, it doesn't sit well with me. Jerry was okay with it. When you tell Michael, I hope I don't regret this, when you sign him to the first $30 million contract, after he built the damn building, he was going back to playing it. Stuff like that. And then you hear Michael yesterday. It boggles my mind. Like, when you hit a certain income level, does your common sense leave? Because I can't fathom not winning, being a competitive person. And I know so many competitive people who didn't play sports, but as a man, you're competitive. You compete against other men for a job, for this, for that. And you're like, I'm happy making money. No, I'm happy being first and winning. And they don't have that mindset. And that's going to be their downfall, because you said it. Who the hell's going to want to come over if I got a plan and I know I got a guy that I can have this plan that's going to execute my plan, and it's not Billy Donovan, and Billy Donovan wants to stay? Come on, man. That's just bass backwards. But that's so Chicago Bulls.
You're not even allowing the chef to cook the meal. And that's the unfortunate part about it.
No, you are, but you got to do it with my groceries.
Right. And that's the problem. And that's the problem when I'm trying to bring the groceries to the party so we could get, everything activated and started the right way. When I look at the Bulls, they're still a very profitable franchise, but there are some things that I don't know if people in the city of Chicago really know about, Shawn. The Bulls aren't as valuable as they once were. they used to be a franchise that was always in the top 3 or 5 of franchise evaluations. Now they still in the top 10, but they have slid to number 6. In the Houston Rockets are slightly below them, but they're creeping up. But this is the thing that trips me out. The Los Angeles Clippers, according to Forbes, have a higher valuation right now than the Chicago Bulls. Think about that. We from an era where the LA Clippers were the biggest laughingstock in the league. And even though they have the most consecutive winning seasons in NBA history, which dates back to the beginning of the Chris Paul era, and I think it is 14 seasons and counting. If they finish above 500 this season will be 15. They haven't won a championship. And they've only been to one conference finals. I checked something earlier this year on NBA.com. It was the top 10 teams in merchandise sales. The Bulls always used to be on that list. Do you know this year was the first year I looked at that list and I didn't see the Chicago Bulls on that list? I saw the Minnesota Timberwolves over the Chicago Bulls. And I know some fans would be like, the Timberwolves? You got to be kidding me. But then you know who Minnesota has? Anthony Edwards.
I got Ant-Man.
You know what else Minnesota has? Back-to-back conference finals appearances. When's the last time the Bulls got to back-to-back conference finals appearances? Oh, it was near the end. Yeah, 97, 98. It was near the end of the 20th century. So if you were someone
so 20th century.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's unfortunate. And then when you look at top 10 jersey sales among active players, the Bulls don't even have a guy on the list. You gotta go all the way back to, I believe, when Jimmy Butler was here to find somebody that was top 10 in jersey sales. Yeah, and Derrick Rose, and that's approaching 10 years ago. That has been 10 years. So I say all that to say, if you're really in the business of making money, then you sure as hell should be in the business of winning, especially when you should know, based off of recent data and statistics, that we cannot rest upon our laurels. And what they're doing, the longer they continue to play themselves short, they're losing out on other generations of fans. Because I can't get mad if a young kid in Chicago tells me he doesn't watch the Bulls or he's not a Bulls fan. Because what player is on this roster right now to where you say to yourself, man, I could see him around for the next several years, or I could even see him being a star here on the next winning club? I don't see too many. And I know Modest Buzelis is the guy that you have to stake your claim in and hopes to as a fan. However, if I had to trade Modest Buzelis to get another top 10 pick in this year's draft, I have to consider it. I have to consider when I look at how deep this draft class is. And you can't tell me that you're fully married to Josh Giddey either when you listen and hear the comments that he's made talking about, well, I ain't had the energy, or this team hasn't had the energy. Like, that's who you want to build around? Make it make sense.
It doesn't. Guys, we're joined by Gavriel Wilkins from the New 24 podcast. We're talking Chicago Bulls basketball here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. And that's the thing that hurts, man, is that all you got to do is ask the kids. Like, there's nobody on this Bulls team that the kids say, I want to be him. Before, there's Jimmy Butler, but it was like, I want to be D Rose. I want to be Rose. I want D Rose. That was the dude. And before then, obviously, it was Mike. It wasn't just here. It was I wanted to be Mike. But after Mike, it was D Rose. And the D Rose jerseys, you couldn't find a D Rose jersey, man. Everyone was buying them suckers. Whose jersey are they buying? Who's the guy that they look up to and idolize? We don't have that dude yet. Now, Modest could be that dude if he continues to develop, but there's something about him. I don't know what it is. I love his aggressiveness. I love the dog mentality he's got, but there's something about him that just, I don't know if he could be marketable. I don't know what it is that's missing from that young man. And I like that young man a lot. But there's just something about it. It just made me that je ne sais quoi. Like, I just don't know what it is, but it's just missing. He don't have that it thing. I don't know.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. And I think it's gonna start at the top. They have to be done with satisfactory effort. They have to be done with being average. And when you say you disagree with trading Modest, see, you know, sometimes when you've been bad for so long, I think it's something with the fan base to where they just get so dejected that they accept it. I'm not wired that way. And sometimes when you in situations like these, desperate times call for desperate measures. You know, you have to be bold and you have to be unafraid to make changes. And I understand change is hard for everybody. But what have the current results been getting you? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the 4th straight years in which the Bulls have missed the playoffs. And he said he wants to make the playoffs. That's what made me upset too with Michael Reinsdorf yesterday. He said he wants to make the playoffs. The goal should be trying to do whatever it takes to win a championship. I remember when it was a standard in place to be playing in June in Chicago. It was a standard in place to have parades at Grant Park. That's something that some generation of fans may not know about, but I know it was passed down to you if you were a Bulls fan by somebody. I know somebody got a VHS tape on deck of watching a parade on Channel 9, seeing Michael Jordan come down the float, going to the Shell Hall over there in Grant Park, talking about next year we're going to win it again.
Yeah.
And we did. And we did. Now, I'm not expecting you to three-peat or even go back to back, but I'm damn sure expecting that level of confidence. But that's been lost. But it needs to return. And like my man Torrance said, they need somebody in the building that bleed red and black, man. They need somebody in the building that does. That brings that energy,
someone who's got
that confidence.
And someone who's got a keen eye for talent.
Thank you.
You know, that's the biggest thing. Get a keen eye for talent, and not just that, but developing talent. Because I don't give a damn who you are. You need to get developed at that level. You're at a level you've never played before, and now you're playing against the best basketball players in the world. And you need development. So, and I agree with you. You know, I don't know. I mean, BJ Armstrong's an agent, so he can't do it. But like, I don't know who I would trust that would have to go in a front office that was a former Bull, and just be an asshole. And like, look, just like you said, that's not the standard. That's not the standard. That's not what I built. I was part of this shit for 8 years, 3 years, whatever it was. I was part of this. This is how we did it. And if you're not going to do it this way, guess what? There's the door. We'll find you. We'll do it. We'll John Starks you. Go home. We'll pay you till we find a trade partner, and you ain't got to worry about it. You make easy money. But I need mugs in here who come and want to live up to the standard and extend that standard. Make that what's commonplace amongst NBA players and make this a destination. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know who out there would have that type of passion for the Bulls. Damn sure he might. He might even come back to the stadium.
Yeah. You can't. You getting Michael Jordan to come back to the stadium is a challenge in itself. But then it goes back to the way in which he was treated by ownership. And that's another thing, too, because I saw an old clip back from 1999, NBA on NBC with Peter Vesey breaking down news surrounding the Bulls. And it was a thing about after Michael Jordan retired, where they went around the league asking players, would you even want to follow in his footsteps? Kevin Garnett said no. And they said, why? When he was with Minnesota. And this was at the early days of his career. He said, you know why? I look at how they treated their top talent. Scottie Pippen. They ain't want to renegotiate his contract. Michael Jordan. And why would I want to go through that? It's all about how you treat your people. And see, why is it that we always have to go after a former Bull in order to get the job done? BJ Armstrong, funny enough, who once was an agent, is now the assistant general manager in Sacramento under Scott Perry. I thought about that name. I did. But remember, they passed up on BJ Armstrong after Krause retired in 2003. And Krause was grooming BJ for the job. They passed up on BJ to get John Paxson, who, ironically enough, was the president of basketball operations for over 15, 17 plus years and is a senior advisor to the Bulls now and is supposed to be a consultant in this process to Michael Reinsdorf. I don't look at that with too much optimism, personally. I want some new blood. I want somebody in here that, like my man said, Torrance, that bleeds red and black, and that is committed to getting the job done and knows what they're walking into. And it's a little bit crazy to think that they could build something that rivals what we once had in the city in the 1990s. It's going to take that level of passion and commitment.
Yeah, it is. And that's a huge level, because if anyone's ever seen any interview of Michael from The Last Dance, you saw how tyrannical he was. Like, it was like he's throwing punches, and the level of pressure that Michael put on his teammates. And the thing he said, he goes, I need to know that you're not going to wilt. I need to know that you're not going to crumble, or the Detroit Pistons give you an elbow and you get up and you want to fight, and you realize, okay, I want to fight, but then you get kicked out of the game and now we lost you. Or you get intimidated. Like, you ain't getting intimidated because I'm going to intimidate you first. And if you stand up to me, and every single person from Paxson to Kerr to Scotty and Horace, when they stood up for themselves finally, that's when he knew. And that's when he knew, okay, now if you're going to stand up to me, you can stand up to everybody else. And that type of maniacal teammateship, I guess, I don't know. We need someone like that, but it's a new day and age. We don't have any tough dudes anymore. There's just too many young kids in basketball. They need to be coddled. They need to be developed. And it frustrates me, Gabe. It really, really does, because I have the way to fix it. And Tommy Tuberville kind of, obviously remember old coach at Auburn, obviously listened to my show because he wrote something similar to what I had. But this NBA has to become a better product. It's not a good product anymore, because you get so many people who are one and dones. And look how long it took Cade to finally get to be legit. All right, you can see the talent, but Cade was skinny when he first got here. Look at all the other people all the youngsters. Look how long it took Ant-Man to be good and consistent. These guys got to come into the league more fundamental. The floor has to be raised. These guys got to come into the league better, which makes the NBA better, which makes their ceiling higher. And it bothers me the more this whole one and done thing. I think it's got to go now that the NIL is in college.
I don't agree with that. I think the NBA is in a great place. I just think that the Chicago Bulls are 3 steps behind the rest of the league.
You know why the NBA is in a good place? You know why? Because everybody overseas is getting taught the fundamentals. They're coming over.
I don't buy that. I'm gonna tell you why I don't buy that. I don't buy that one bit, because even though Nikola Jokic is the best center in the game. And you can even say he's the best player in the world. The last time I checked, USA got the gold medal. Last time I checked, not only do we have a gold medal, we've had the gold medal since 2008. See, it's a lot of agendas and narratives that are being pushed in an effort to dispel a lot of American-born players, because a lot of the traditional media cannot relate to these guys. Now, can certain guys be better in the way in which they may approach the media? Probably so, but it's two sides to it as well. You got to know how to relate to some of these guys. And when you talk about development, right, Cade Cunningham is a guy that I was always high on. And I thought Cade Cunningham was the shit since he was at Oklahoma State. When he came into the league, he was the same way. The only problem is that Detroit didn't have a roster built around him effectively enough to utilize his skill sets as a playmaker. But Trajan Langdon came in there and made things work. And in turn, they got to the playoffs. The only thing that Cade struggled with, I would say, through his first few years is with health. Ant-Man, I thought his second season in the league, he was an all-star. I watched Ant-Man live against the Bulls when Zach LaVine was an all-star during the time that the Bulls were around the top of the Eastern Conference, and he took it to him. He's worth the price of admission. LaMelo Ball, I heard a lot of people say empty calorie score, can't win, need to get rid of him, need to trade him. Everybody praises Con Knipple, right? Love Con Knipple's game. But it's LaMelo Ball that opens up the floor for him to get those shots on driving kicks and catch and shoot situations. Brandon Miller has had a fantastic season. I don't hear a lot of people talking about him. I think we're in a great era when it comes to young talent in the NBA. And not only do I think we're in a great era, I think the best is yet to come. I think we're in a much better place when LeBron retires as opposed to where we were when MJ retired and walked away from the game 23 years ago this month. And I stand by that. Now, are there things that they can do better? Yeah. Do I think that it would be nice to see players playing 65 plus games or more year in, year out? Yeah, I do. But sometimes players are being held out by upper management. Why? Because upper management wants to protect their asset. Analytics, as much as I love analytics, there are some pros and cons to it. We got guys going for kill shots from three-point land, and we've gotten away from the basics and the fundamentals. You got the best player guiding the offense and directing the show. Whereas when we was coming up, you had a Jason Kidd, a Rajon Rondo, a Chris Paul, floor generals. That's a lost art. You know, everything is being played or operated offensively through the best player, regardless of his size or height. And even though he could be a Swiss Army knife, it may not be in the team's best interest to let them direct the flow of the offense and traffic all the time. But that's where we are. And AAU, I'm not going to crap on AAU a ton, but it's played a part in that. And there's some things that can be better. I always ask myself, as someone that's in the basketball space, how can we be better when it comes to helping the next generation for those that aspire to coach or want to coach? Because if I see something wrong with the game personally, I'm going to try and do what I can to change it. Even if I'm not a coach, if I got somebody's ear that's in the league or somebody's ear that is coaching at the grassroots level, we're going to talk on it and chop it up about it.
Well, listen, here's where I disagree with you. You mentioned the gold medal. Well, that's fine. That's fine. The guys who come over don't have the same talent that the U.S. has. You might have a joker on your team. All right, you might have a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. You might have a Greek Freak on your team, but his surrounding cast in the Olympics is nowhere near the talent-wise. But as far as fundamentals and fundamentally sound, these guys are coming over fundamentally sound. So they might not be the best talent in the world, but guess what? They're not going to lose games for you. They're going to hit the mid-range jumper. They're going to hit their free throws. They're going to box out. They're going to set screens. They're doing a whole bunch of other things that we grew up that makes basketball fun. And we don't do that. We don't play defense. Everyone just wants to jump and try and block shots. All right, we don't hit the mid-range. All right, we're not picking and rolling. We're not Illinois in the champion in the Final Four. Keaton, How many times did he's a pick that set for him and the dude didn't roll? Or he didn't, you know what I mean? Like he dribbled the ball too damn long. That's what I'm seeing. I think that if they stay longer in college, all right, one transfer portal, we get one jump, unless when you jump and your coach gets fired that year, then you get a second jump. You're getting money, so you can't say I need hardship for mom and dad. Okay, cool. You're getting money. At least you got a coach knows I'm gonna have you for 2, maybe 3 years. Now you're gonna be taught to play defense. Now, when I get to the league, the fundamentals of this game, I'm gonna have a better grasp of different concepts, of how higher IQ. Look at the Boozer brother. All right, Caden Boozer. One that was a coaching faux pas on John Shire. He should have told him, listen, there's 10 seconds left, which means we don't have to get the ball over half court. Caden has not been in big enough games, as many big enough game like that, where you would know that. Again, first and foremost is coaching. You got to let them know, hey, here's the situation. But there's a lot of mistakes that happen when you just don't have a good grasp of the game because you're not fundamentally sound. And to me, that bothers me, because if you had to wait, and now these guys you probably end up playing 3 tournament championships. You're probably playing 3 NCAA championships. I mean, three tournaments, 3 NCAA tournaments, 3 conference tournaments. You're coming out of school with a lot more experience in big time games than you are now. Because now you got 1 conference tournament, 1 NCAA tournament, and then we're done. How much time and in 1 year, there's some fundamentals are taught, but not as much as you can get in 3 years. So that's my thought.
I don't agree with that, and I'm not about telling guys that they need to do 2-3 years of college. If you ready, you ready. If you not, you not. The league gonna expose you either way. It's all about your makeup, and some guys develop on different curves than others. And when you talk about, the SGAs, the Wembys, the Jokic's, I respect them as talents. And I understand that they're foreign-born players. And I understand that those are guys that are highly regarded as faces of the league. But there are guys stateside that have talent too. I don't see too many people that, unless if they watch the game on a nightly basis, talk enough about Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks. That man checks the box score each and every night. He plays defense. Jalen Duran plays defense for the Detroit Pistons. He's a guy that's more than likely going to win Most Improved Player, was an all-star in this league, one of the best rollers to the rim. Him and Cade Cunningham in the pick and roll game, you just throw it up, Jalen Duran's missed to go get it. Isaiah Stewart, who's also on his team, if he didn't miss the amount of games he did, he would have been unlocked to make not only all defensive team, but probably would have been in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. Now, of course, that's
see what you're saying. You see what you're saying? The fundamentals and defense.
But these are American players.
No, I hear you. But when I say American players aren't, I can't. I'm not saying every single. I'm using generalizations. You know what I mean? And that's why Detroit's got the number 1 record in the Eastern Conference, because they play defense, they play fundamentally sound, and they play defense. But most players don't have that defensive mentality because they have 1 year of college and they're not taught that in AAU.
I have a problem with the college game personally. The college, you know what I don't like about the college game is restricted spacing. And when you talk about fundamentals, I watched the national championship game the other night. Guys can't even hit jump shots. It's something, but you know what that is? What that starts at the grassroots level. It's beyond just college basketball. It starts at the grassroots level. AAU. Like, yes. I'm a type of guy. If I see a kid in the gym, and he's struggling with his jumper, I'm be like, hey, yo, my man, if you really want to be great, let's get 500 up. And then we're going to turn that 500 into 1,000. And I know this because I know guys that have done it. I've seen guys do it. When I would even talk and interview certain guys at the high school level, after we get done, I'll be like, hey, what you going to do today? You going to go to work? Yeah. How many shots you getting up? I'm getting up 1,000 a day. How many makes you trying to hit out of them 1,000? I'm trying to get to like 750 or 800. Okay, cool. It takes practice. And I think the lack of practice time has impacted things. Guys are playing more games, but sometimes when it comes to playing games, like the games may not always be competitive. And sometimes when you are so great at the grassroots level, you have to be careful who you playing with, because sometimes you could be playing down to your competition and not even realize it or know it. But when it comes to the NBA, I think the NBA is in a solid place. I just think that the game is changing, and either you adapt to the times or you don't. And every 10 years, the game changes. This is something that me, and shout out to my Uncle Gino, we talked about this for years on end. He was like, hey, there's certain guys in my era that I like more than others. There's certain guys in this era I appreciate more than the ones in mine. But the game always changes, and some folks can't always adapt to it.
And as much as the game changes, and I will tell you this, I agree with you. Every sport changes. However, the fundamentals don't. And when you're not brought up on the fundamentals, all right, talent takes you so far, okay? And you see the guys who've gotten to that point with just talent. But then when you get talent with fundamentals, that's what to me takes you to another level. And that's the thing that bugs me, because there'd be a lot more that we'd have a lot more great players. So a lot of the good players we have would be great if they're fundamentally sound. A lot of our good players, if they hit the mid-range like DeMar DeRozan, can find his shot 15 feet, everything around 15 to 18 feet. You want to hit that on a consistent basis, now you're great. Why? Because you don't need, it's not a three anymore, because you have to worry about him coming off a screen. You got to worry about him popping up on you. Oh, snap. All right, he's driven, and you're not ready for it, because you're thinking, oh, he's going to shoot a three. He's going to shoot a three. He's going to get back to the three. All these things, it boggles my mind. The fundamentals will never go away, regardless of how much the game changes. We're talking football, baseball, basketball, hockey. All games change. They evolve. But the fundamentals stay the same. And the more fundamentally sound you are, the easier it is for you to change, to roll with the times. But the better you're going to be in that era if you're fundamentally sound.
Oh, I'm not against the mid-range at all. You know, Kawhi Leonard has made a living in the mid-range, and he's still getting the job done. And he's 33, and he's averaging the most points per game in his career this season. He's more going to get an all-NBA nod as a byproduct of that if he hits the 65-game threshold. I'm not against the fundamentals at all, but when it comes to the Chicago Bulls, assessing talent alongside of ensuring that you do a better job in player development is key to everything. It's key to everything, because some guys, even when they are fundamentally sound in certain areas, they may be raw in others. Can you help them? And and then not even can you help them, make sure that the guys you're bringing into the building are willing to work. There's a lot of guys that may come in and not be as talented as you want them to be. But if they got the right mindset and they willing to work, and they come from programs where they were associated with winning, I think they can help you become a winner.
I don't disagree one bit. Not one bit. You got to go get winners. And if you get kids from winning programs, they're gonna have some traits that other people might not have. And those are the people that you want on your squad, because if who was the Knicks when they get all three or four of those Villanova guys? You know what I mean? Like, why? Because they came from a winning program. I mean, would you be willing to take a University of Connecticut guy? Hell yeah, I'd be willing to take a University of Connecticut guy. All right, even though they lost the other day, I don't give a damn. Those guys, they had one or two of those players was trying to win his third title in 4 years.
Yeah, Caravan.
Right? Caravan. Like, that's a dude I'll bring on my team. He's not gonna be an MVP, but guess what? That's gonna be a big part of my culture, a big part of the room. I know that dude's not gonna screw up, and make stupid mistakes, because he's been in big time games. How many postseason games has he been in from Big East tournaments? And that's what I was talking about. He has 4 Big East tournaments he's been in. He's got 4 NCAA tournaments he's been in. Like, all those game experience, you can't. There's no substitute for big time game experience except big time game experience. And that's why I want more people to be. I want them to stay for 2 to 3 years. So now you get those, 4 games, 3 to 4 games in your conference. And if you're lucky, 2 to 4 to 6 games in the NCAA tournament, each game getting bigger and bigger and bigger, more eyes on you. And you know what I mean? That's what that's why I mean, for me, dude, fundamentals, doesn't matter what sport, is key. And that's where I see the NBA. Talent and fundamentals are 2 different things. The talent level is much better than it has been probably ever. Guys are jumping higher, running faster, all these other things. Steph shooting from freaking, half court. You just saw who's the kid, the freshman from Connecticut hit from the logo to win. But
you know who I need? I'm gonna tell you who I need. See, I need somebody that, I get that you want the experienced guy, but sometimes I need a guy that got that talent. I need a guy that when it's 2 minutes to go in a game, I could trust him to put me in a position to win, if not someone else in a position to win. When I look at a guy like Darius Acuff Jr. out of Arkansas, he's a freshman, but he's poised as hell. He come from good stock. And I look at his career from high school on down, he's won at every level. He took an Arkansas squad to the Sweet 16. He won the state championship in Michigan. When he was at IMG, he was a winner. Guys like that, if I was the Bulls, I would ask Derrick Rose straight up, what you think about him? Because a lot of people think that Darius Acuff Jr. is the best guard that John Calipari has helped produce. And we talking about a guy that coached Derrick Rose in college, coached John Wall in college, coached SGA in college, who you were just giving praises to, coach Jamal Murray, Devin Booker, the list goes on and on. Tyree Evans, a list of and gluttony of guards. And I can go all the way back to DeJuan Wagner during his Memphis days, early Memphis days. So, like, when I look at guys like him, I get excited. When I look at guys like A.J. DiBonza, who led the nation in scoring as a true freshman, albeit first-round exit, a lot of injuries happened to that BYU Cougar squad under Coach Young down there in Provo. He's a guy I get excited about. Even Darren Peterson. And I know the injury concerns scares a lot of people off, but you can't teach efficiency and being able to get a bucket without having to put the ball on the floor too much, because you ain't got to worry about him pounding the rock all the time. And even when he does, usually he gonna find a good look for you. It's so much talent in this draft class, and I'm gonna tell Bulls fans right now, you better pray to God that you get a top 3 or 5 pick in this draft, and hopefully that the Trailblazers make the playoffs. Because if they do, now you're talking about 2 picks within the top 15 of the draft, including your first-round draft pick in Noah Essengay, should the new regime want to keep him around. But they're gonna have to get shrewd in making some trades too, and they're gonna have to find a team that's willing to take some bad money on and would be willing to give them some draft capital.
That's why they got all those guys with expiring contracts. So now they can fill that roster with people they want, with youngsters that they feel are going to be here for a minute. So now that the situation's over and the front office is bare, the cupboard is bare, who are some of the people that you have in mind? I know you got to have people in mind that say, hey, this guy would be good, this guy or this. Who are some of the people that you think could be or should be, in your opinion, on the list for the Bulls to start going after?
I got a few guys. I'm going to start with Mike Zarin. I think Mike Zarin is the executive in Boston that most people don't know about. He's been the brain behind a lot of the team's moves. He's worked his way up from a position as an unpaid intern to vice president of basketball operations. And
unpaid intern.
He's a lead salary cap expert, and he's played a part in a lot of the shrewd moves and trades that have led to them extending their championship window, including the one that brought in Jason Tatum. I don't know if he will lead the Celtics. He's not a guy that a lot of people think will want the spotlight of a lead decision maker. And he is the number 2 man under Brad Stevens in Boston. And he's turned down offers in the past, but he did attend USC as an undergraduate student before he got his law degree from Harvard. And I think If you make him a solid offer, maybe he will want to return to the city where he was once a college student at and trying to lead this Bulls franchise back to prominence. Another guy I have on my list is Zach Kleiman, current Memphis Grizzlies general manager. They've always been a team that's solid at drafting since he's been there, picking up guys from Ja Morant, number 2 overall pick in the 2019 draft, to Desmond Bane, Zach Edey, won Executive of the Year 4 years ago, becoming the youngest guy to ever win the award at 33. He set them up for another rebuild by stockpiling draft picks after trading away Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. at the peak value, something that the Acme regime never did, holding on to assets too late. Been very aggressive in the trade market. That's something that you haven't known the Bulls to be solid at with their previous regime. Funny enough, he was raised in Lincoln Park, Bulls fan, and even though it's no indication that he would like to leave Memphis, what better dude to get than somebody that bleed red and black? Maybe he's the guy. And then I got a couple more names. See, I look at these teams around the league, and what do they have in common? The Knicks, the Lakers, they got former agents in their front office. See, you want to get A-list talent, you got to get A-list level agents in the building, whether they got current experience or former experience. I'm going to start with Austin Brown. He's the co-head of CAA basketball, represents Cooper Flagg, Jaren Jackson Jr., represents Zion Williamson, Peyton Pritchard, Trae Young, among other talents in the league, Miles Turner as well. He's an Evanston native, well-respected, well-connected. If I'm not mistaken, he interviewed for the GM job back in 2020. Solid dude, deserves opportunity in another interview if you ask me. And those are the guys you want to talk to, because when I look at the Bulls, they've gotten a lot of B and C-list stars over the years. It's time to get some A-list stars in the building. And then former Clutch agent, who I believe is now the head of partnerships at Fanatics, Omar Wilkes. He's the son of Jamal Wilkes, who used to play for the Lakers back in the 80s with Magic Johnson, Norm Nixon, and them guys. He was a guy that,
as soon as I saw him, bro, soon as I saw him, like, that's Jamal's kid.
Yeah, that's definitely
as soon as
Jamal's
I saw
kid.
him, like, you're your daddy's kid, boy.
Yeah, he was the head of basketball for Clutch Sports. Back in 2020, he was named that. And of course, at the time, they had all-star level clients from LeBron, AD, Draymond Green, among others. He was an agent at Octagon, where his clients at the time included Trae Young, Cam Reddish, OG Anunoby, and Anthony Edwards of Georgia before he moved on to Bill Duffy. I like his pedigree. He's been involved in a lot of interviews in the past for GM jobs around the league. You got to find a way to pair a solid level executive with an agent, in my book, in order for the Bulls to get success. And when I say an agent, he can't just be any agent. He got to have a contact book that's yay high to help you get some talent in the building. Because you can't just build this thing up with role players. You're going to need a few, but you also need some stars, not only to help you sell tickets, but to get this thing steered in the right direction.
Gabe, great stuff, my man. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Do me a favor before you go, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Well, absolutely. You can follow the new 24 at TNTF_. We release new episodes every Wednesday. You can find them at rss.com/podcast/TNTF. Like I said, TNTF_. That's our handle on Twitter, known as X to the kids nowadays, as well as Instagram. We come in with new stuff every single Wednesday. We got series for you, Faces of the League. We talk about the NBA over the last 50 years, from the past to the present and the future. We got episodes of Second Chance Points you can check out. Talk about the career Derrick Rose prior to him getting his jersey retired above the rafters this past January. That's still on the feed. We got way more coming over these next couple of months too, with the playoffs heating up. So just get in tune with us.
Dude, excellent stuff, man. I appreciate your time, man. Hey,
anytime.
Excellent, man. We'll be in touch soon, man. All right?
Absolutely. Indeed.
Thank you.
Yep.
Guy, that's Gavriel Wilkins from the new 24. Man, great stuff. The Bulls, he gave us some names, some conventional names, GMs, executives now, and then other people who might be a little bit out of the box, who could be just the catalyst to bring people to Chicago. Different mindsets. Man, great stuff. Whew. I love it. He's like, no, I disagree with you on the NBA. I'm like, that's all right. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I think. I'll tell you. So don't ever accuse me of bringing on yes men on my show. All right. As a matter of fact, I'd love if we differ on opinions. You put yours, you back yours up, I'll back mine up. Still think I won. I don't care how much talent you got. You haven't played enough big games. But anyway, so I did promise you. I said, hey, when we got done with Gabe, we were going to look at my mock draft. And I got 3 rounds in. So if you missed it, I'll give you the one that I did the 1 round in last week. So this is I guess I was able to find it. It said, how many rounds did you want to do? 1, 2, 3, and then 4 had a dollar sign, 5, 6, 7, or had a lock on it. So you mean the lock, which means you had to. So here's the one I did with just the first round. All right, number 25, I got Caden McDonald. All right, Akeem Mesidor. If he was still there, that would have been a very, very difficult decision for me to make. Akeem Mesidor and Caden McDonald. And it was a tough one. It was in him and TJ Parker. I was like, man, which one? But I'm like, let me secure the interior of this defense. All right, we can't have people running on our defense. We can't. We can't. So that's why I took Caden McDonald. So here's my 3 round. And let me know what you think. Here's my 3 round draft. 21, I got Caleb Banks from Florida. Big boy. Talk about shoring up the middle of that defensive line. There you go. Number 2, Derek Moore. Coming off the edge from Michigan. Liked him a lot. Second round pick, safety out of LSU, AJ Halsey. A lot of the other safeties that I was interested in were gone at number 60. There were some good safeties, but they're gone at that particular spot. And then this one, I probably could have gone defense again. Probably should have gone defense again. But I didn't. Malachi Fields, wide receiver, big 6'3" receiver. All right. We know Ben Johnson likes those tall receivers. He's got really, really good speed. He's just not explosive. Like, he'll go get it. Like, throw it, he'll go get it. Throw that ball up, he'll go get it. He's another one like Rome Odunze. Remember, Rome Odunze's go get it. All right, he's got speed. And then I don't see, and then that, again, I have to subscribe to PFF so I can get a full draft. So this draft, if you look at the bottom, it says the bottom 36 of Chicago Bear drafts, of people who've done Chicago Bear drafts. They didn't like it. They said I got a B for Caleb Banks, a B for Derek Moore, an A for AJ Halsey, and a C- for Malachi Fields. Overall, a B+. Okay. Let's see what we got. Oh, Shorty says, please excuse my ignorance. I've been incredibly busy with work, and then there's my dog dropping dead out of nowhere. When is the draft? I got you, dog. I got you. That's funny. The draft is coming up. It's in April. Is the 23rd or 24th? 23rd, 23, 24, 25. Hold on. I'm double checking as we speak. Give me dates. Events. April 23rd, April 24th, April 25th. Okay? April 23rd, April 24th, April 25th. So I'll probably do another, not probably, I'm going to do another draft, another mock. See if I can, in that 3 rounds, see if I can get another, probably not take Malachi Fields. All right, maybe take another defensive player. All right, and bring that draft grade up to an A. Although the draft grade was good, it was a B+. The overall draft grade I got from here was a B+. So we'll take B+ drafts because Caleb Banks, Derek Moore, AJ Halsey. Okay. Develop these young men. Yes. Awesome. Thanks, Shawn. Earlier this year, it's been May recently. So, but hey, listen. 2 hours has come and gone. I want to thank my guest, Gavriel Wilkins, for coming on for the New 24 podcast. Great stuff. I appreciate it. I want to also remind you, all right, the double nickel all linen celebration for the SuperBack. Saturday, July 25th. Get your tickets, $55. All right, go to Eventbrite. Actually, no, I'll put I should have done that today. Here's what I'll do. I'll make a flyer or just a flyer and I'll put it on. So for Friday, I'll have it where you can have the Zelle tag. Okay. And Zelle tag, Venmo, and PayPal. All right. Those 3 addresses you can use to get your ticket, to reserve your ticket. It's going to be off the chain. Let me tell you. Let me freaking tell you. Then don't forget, guys, start getting now's a great time. Off season, get your shirt and stuff ready. Get your Sports Zone Chicago swag ready. We got Sports Zone Chicago hats. We got Sports Zone Chicago t-shirts. We got Sports Zone Chicago hoodies. We have Sports Zone Chicago's quarter zips. We have FGB shirts. We have Bears Victory Monday shirts. We have Good, Better, Best shirts. I was just saying FGB shirts. You see, Michon, he got his FGB sweatshirt already. All right, get your Sports Zone Chicago swag. Have it ready for the season. All right. Well, listen. What a phenomenal show. I want to thank you guys for making this a phenomenal show. I want to thank my guy, Gavriel Wilkins, for coming on, talking Bulls with us. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. All right. Thank you so much for the love and the support you show me every freaking week. Hit the like button. All right. I'd appreciate it. It helps the algorithm. Okay, Shorty, so shall we do our 3-day draft marathon? You want a link to pop in and out whenever you want? Sure, man, that'd be dope. You could pop in and out after every pick. Yeah, dude, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. All right, cool. Well, listen, I got to go pick up the warden from CrossFit. All right, I have a lot of stuff to do today. Yesterday was a busy day. Busy day, very productive day. Your boy has another busy day today. All right. So I got to get out of here. I have a lot of work to do today. All right. But again, I love you and I appreciate the support you give me every single time. So everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I will see you on Friday. Okay. But everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your brother, SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Listen, I'm telling you this. Let your loved ones know you love them because tomorrow is promised to no one. The boy is out.
Come on, place the place, get the place, get